Hey everyone, welcome back to another Kevin's Kreations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
I'm Cardwell.
And as you can tell, guys, we've had to do some different changes to how we do the deck text and whatnot, because Cardwell is moving away from our hometown.
Yeah, I have to get out of here as soon as possible.
It's fair. But as you can tell, we're doing it online, and it's a little different, but it'll still be good, and it's the best way we can do to show you all the decks. With that, we're going to talk about the deck called Haiku of the Dead today, and it's with our boy Lucifer. But before we get into that deck, I just remind everybody that we do have a Patreon. The link will be down below, guys. Go check it out. We've changed a couple of the tiers and everything, and it's pretty good, so go check it out and see what you like, see what you don't like, and let us know.
Yes.
With that, let's delve into the Haiku of the Dead.
All right.
So, it does start with our boy Lucifer, and he is the Black Divinity Ruler, and he Divinity 10 Judgments for 2 black and 3, and Energized for a black. So, standard Divinity Ruler. And he Judgments into the Fallen Angel of Sorrow for an 8/8 flyer with Divinity 10, and enter, your opponent discards 3 cards.
Just good effect, actually.
Yeah, and it's relatively strong in this deck when you use it, because you're playing for the mid game. And in the mid game of this deck, you're going to have like 3 cards against 4 cards in the hand. So it helps to be like, hey, discard 3 cards now, because I don't want you to have them. But that is what he's for. His runes in this deck, you're not going to be able to play all 5 of them currently. It's just how I found that I like it so far. And we first got Harvesting Season, which is a black and 1 for Divinity 3 Chant Rune. You may pay 1 less to play this card from a rune area. You put the top 10 of your deck into your graveyard. And it's literally just there to set up your graveyard. That's its whole purpose.
Graveyard's been becoming a really good resource lately, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Next up is Tears of the Fallen. It is 0 mana for Divinity 2. Your opponent discards a card at random. This card I've loved ever since it's been played and printed. Yeah. But lately it's been kind of meh because of Adam having his clause of in the graveyard, he becomes all things.
Right.
And it's kind of, I don't know if I like it as much anymore. I do still like it a whole lot because it wrecks everyone else, because you just like get that card at random. And usually I have really good luck at hitting the card they need.
Yeah, it does feel bad when they're turn 0, they already have Adam in the field, and or in the graveyard, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just set up your whole deck. You're welcome. Yeah. Next up is Lucifer's Master Rune, his original one, Black Rosario. It is 2 black, Divinity 2, and your opponent banishes 2 Resonators.
Seems good.
I'll pay 1 mana to kill a dude twice. Great. Yeah. It's disgusting. Next up is Invitation to Purgatory. It is 2 black, Divinity 3. So you produce a red and a black. Search your deck for a card to put in your graveyard. Then, if there's a card named Satan, God of the Fallen, removed in your root area, search your deck for another card and put it into the graveyard. Shuffle your deck. So this card is actually kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
Because turn 1, if you have Energize, you play it for 2 black with Energize. You use the red to remove Satan, and then you play a Lailah or any number of other 1-drop good cards from the cards that you put in the graveyard. It's crazy because you get so much value out of this card. It is it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have Freed from the Altar. It is 1 black and 1 for a Divinity 1 Chant Rune. You may pay 1 less to play this card from a rune area. Search your deck for a Darkness Resonator, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. You lose 400 life. So it's just 1 black, search for a dude, and put it in your hand.
That's so good. It
really is so good. Sure, I lose 400 life, but I don't really care because it just helps, because you get what you need, and then it helps Satan out. And it's just good tutor. Like, always available. But the only issue is currently there is 11 Divinity, so you can only play 4 of the 5 runes. So just be aware of that.
Of course, we'll get into the first Resonator of the game. Is Lailah, Maiden in the Swamps. You know this beautiful lady. 1 drop, 0/2. When this card is put in the graveyard from the field, search your Magic Stone for a Darkness Magic Stone, and then put it in the play. Untapped, which is crazy, and then shuffle your deck.
Yeah, she's so good.
That's insane. Yeah.
You just put her out and you're like, hey, I have a blocker. Do you want to give me a free land?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to mana ramp without you caring. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Next up is Dark Alice, the Rabbit Princess. She is a 2/5 for a white mana, and she has Quick Cast. Cards in your graveyard cannot be the target of chance spells and abilities your opponent controls, or be removed from the game. So that kind of hurts you because part of the things you want to remove yourself, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
She enters, you draw a card, then discard a card, or banish an entity. Repeat this process once. So you draw 2 cards and either discard 2 cards or any combination of discard, banish a thing.
Yeah.
And as long as there's a Resonator, a Chant, an Addition, and a Magic Stone in your graveyard, Magic Stones you control produce any color. So you can tap, produce any color if you have one of each of those 4 things. And she helps you set that up in this deck because you can come into play with her, discard a card, so you discard your Addition, or you can sacrifice an Addition or a Resonator. So
yeah,
the cutest thing I've done with her is be like, bring her into play, sacrifice a Lailah, get a stone, do it again, sacrifice that new stone after you use it. It's kind of ridiculous.
And then you have it all set up for that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right, the next one is Fallen Angel of Fiery Vengeance. This is our favorite 1-drop of the mana dudes. It's 4/4. Of course, treat your Dark Magic Stones if they were Fire Stones, and you can tap them for a red. And then, but you can tap and banish this card, search your deck for a card, the same name, Fallen Angel, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then you can pay 200 life, or move this card from the graveyard from the game, and then the target J/Resonator gets -0/-400 until end of turn. So this guy can do so much stuff.
Dude, he kills all of their little 1-drop Resonators that do the same kind of ability.
Yep.
He kills the little cat that gets in the way, the little calico cat that everybody runs for green, and he just does so much.
Yeah.
And to pay 200 life helps you out because it helps your Satan when he's removed. And
he replaces himself. Like,
yeah, he's a dude that gives you another dude to help you kill more things.
Yeah, exactly.
The only issue is if you do have a Dark Alice in play, you cannot remove him from your graveyard, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Because Dark Alice states that no cards can be removed from your graveyard. Doesn't matter who does it.
Yeah.
It just can't be removed, which kind of is bad, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Next up is Perfect Loki, because
it's good.
It's good.
It's just broken.
Yeah. So it's a blue-black for an 8/100, and it's got quick cast. This card gains +0/+100 for each card in your graveyard. And then enter J Resonators your opponent's control, get -0/-X, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. And then she has a whole bunch of other text that doesn't matter because we're not playing blue.
Yeah.
But really, it's just 2 mana coming to play, wipe your board, is really what she's for.
And that's all you need.
I have an 8/1 beater, or an 8X beater. Great.
Yeah. And that's all you super just need, to be honest.
That's really all you need.
With Harvesting Season, you can trigger her and kill most of every single thing out there. All right, the next one is Kaguya, Sealed God of the Moon. Is green, white, and 1 quick cast, 7/7. So, enter. Cancel target spell. Seems good. That's ridiculous to have a creature that counters things. Then, if you have room to, you may pay 1 less to play this card if you control exactly 5 Resonators, exactly 7 Magic Stones, and exactly 5 cards in the graveyard. This card gains flying, and whenever this card deals damage to your opponent, draw 7 cards and recover up to 7 Magic Stones you control. Hence the name of the deck, right, Kevin?
Yeah, hence the name of the deck is the Haiku, because that's what she gets to do. If you have 5 dudes, 7 stones, and then 5 cards in your graveyard. So you make a Haiku, and you just get to kill them.
Yep. And
if it happens, it's kind of ridiculous, because you're just like, hey, I'm going to draw 7 new cards, and be like, I get to have a whole nother turn
of doing whatever I super want.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. The next guy we got is Athenia, Deity of Harvest and Corruption. She is a green and a black and 1 for an 8/8 High God. Enter, you choose Harvest or Corrupt. If you choose Harvest, recover up to 3 Magic Stones. If you choose Corrupt, you tap all stones your opponent controls. And then Rune 1, if you would choose Harvest or Corrupt, you choose both. So if you have any one of the runes showing, you get both.
Yeah.
Which is what makes Tears of the Fallen really, really good, because you're just like, turn 1, do this. Now you now have Rune 1 showing.
Exactly.
And then you can pay a green, put any number of target cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your deck. Pay a black, remove all cards in your opponent's graveyard from the game. So she really helps your Kaguya get set up to make the Haiku, because if you have more than 5 cards in your graveyard, you're just like, cool, pay a green, remove all but these 5.
Yeah.
And then now I have my Haiku. And it's just silly, because you're just like, hey, cool, remove all these 5, 5, 5, 5, 7. and great, let's do it.
And then you got it. Yeah. It's pretty cute setup there.
Yeah, and her black ability of remove all cards from your opponent's graveyard is just super strong right now because, like Cardinal said, graveyard is just where you're playing from right now. It's too good.
It's a whole nother deck, and plus to do have 1 black at any time you want with a new person. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, the next one, of course, is my waifu is Astema, Returnee of Hatred. 2 black and 1, 7/7. It has flying, and then she has inner. Your opponent loses 500 life. If you have 3 or more runes revealed, you gain 500, which is super solid. And then you can pay 400 life, draw a card, only do it once per turn and on your turn. And for a good old finisher, you paid 10 life. Your opponent loses 500 life. Well, pay 1,000 life. Play this ability only during your turn and once per turn as well.
Great.
So many ways you can bounce her, move her, bring her back, gain all the life, then finish them off constantly with just taking your life to kill them.
Yeah, cool. I'll pay life to draw a card every turn.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Exactly.
She's so strong right now. Next up is the Mana Transmuter. It is a black and 2 for a 6/7 vampire, and you pay 300 life, produce any color, play this ability only once per turn. So she's there literally just to help you get mana to fix all your stuff. Because this deck is super greedy. I will tell you that right now.
Yes, very, very greedy.
If you're like, I'm going to play all the colors in mostly black, so let's hope to God this works.
Yeah.
But that's what she's there for, is just to help you set up everything.
And the fact you don't have to tap her or tap a stone to do this.
Yeah.
You can only do it once per turn, but it's still just pay 300 life, produce whatever you need.
Yeah, cool. Great.
Super good. All right. And our boy Lucifer is getting in the battle. 2 black and 1. Lucifer, leader of the fallen angels. It's a 7/9 flying. Now this part's not too significant, but it can still help. Pay 1,000 life. This card gains +2/+2 until end of turn. You can keep on doing that. And why would you want to do that? Well, if you pay 2 and 1, pay 1,000 life, discard a card, put this card from your graveyard to the field. But at the end of turn, gain life equal to the amount of life you lost this turn. So, as you saw a theme here, you're just paying all your life as a resource, and then he can get it back if he's still alive at the end of turn.
Yeah.
Which is super good, actually.
Yeah, this dude is kind of dangerous, so don't get greedy if you're playing against green, because they can just be like, hey, lowrite that ability, and then you're sad.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they're tapped out, then you can be as greedy as you want, because you're just like, cool, you can't answer it, and I'm going to gain my life back. Thanks.
Yeah. Feel like at the end of turn, or before the end of turn, you on their second main, you want to say that, pay 3, lose 1,000 life. At the end of turn, I gain that 1,000 back. Thank you. I have a free dude.
Yeah. And the reason you want to pay all this life all the time is for Satan, God of the Fallen.
Yep.
He is a red, black, and 3 for a 14/14 high god. And while you're searching your deck, you may pay a red or a black and reveal this card from your deck. If you do, remove it from the game with a fallen counter on it. Mm-hmm. Then, whenever an effect, if he's removed from the graveyard, as long as this card is in your removed area with 1 or more fallen counters on it, it gains whenever an effect you control or cost causes you to lose life. If this card is in your removed area, put a fallen counter on it.
Yep.
And it also gains, you may play this card from your removed area. If you do, it enters with X fallen counters, where X is equal to the number of fallen counters that were on it while in your removed area.
And
yeah, and his enter trigger is you choose one. If there are 10 or more fallen counters on this, you choose both instead. Your opponent banishes a Resonator. Repeat this process until the combined total cost of Resonators banished this way is equal to or greater than the number of fallen counters on this card. Mm-hmm. Or put any number of Resonators total cost equal to or less than from the fallen counters from your graveyard onto the field.
Yep.
So he gets to help you reset the game however you need to reset it. If you want to bring all your dudes back and just be like, hey, die. Or you can be like, hey, lose all your dudes because I can't answer them right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can be effectively a board wipe or a game reset for you. And he does a lot of work. And the main reason he's so strong is because you get him early with Invitation of Purgatory.
Yeah.
And he's a looming threat. Sure, he's not going to do a whole lot early, but he's always going to be there that your opponent has to have an answer for him, or they're going to die to him.
Exactly. Because they can't overextend with creatures to overwhelm you, because they know that all of their creatures are going to die.
Yeah.
Satan. And like you said, turn 2, you have them out to start getting counters.
Yeah, and with the Lucifer and the Mana Transmuter,
Yeah.
and the Astema, all three of those are pay life to do something.
Yes.
So you pay life, he gets a counter for it, and the same with the Fallen Angel of Fire Vengeance. All four of those cards give you life loss to trigger his ability, which is kind of ridiculous. So that's the only reason that's really nice with Lucifer, is because you're just like, cool, I'll pay 3,000 life, go to 10, he gets 3 counters, and then I'll gain all that life back.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game to play, don't get me wrong, so be careful doing that. But it is a thing you can do to just get free counters on him. I've done it a couple of games and it's kind of disgusting. I've gotten him over 10 one time and that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, hey, kill the board and get everything back. Great.
Because you could do the risky play of like every turn you're just like pay 1,000 life with Lucifer, put a counter on Satan, like every time.
Yeah.
Because then you'll just get that life back as long as Lucifer is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next, of course, is my husbando as well. Is a Belial, the evil from the sculptures. 3 black, 3, 12/12, Fallen Angel. He has flying. And if your life is 1,000 or less, you may pay 3 less to play this card, so it can just be 3 darkness. Enter. Destroy all non-fallen resonators. All fallen angel resonators. So that's pretty solid. Because most of the time your opponent will not have any fallen angels. And then whenever Resonator is put in the graveyard from this field, this card deals 1,000 damage to your opponent. So that's also super solid.
Yeah, I've learned that in this format, like I said, mid game is where it's at right now. And once you've reset the board once with a Perfect Loki, they get to rebuild again. If you don't have another way to kill him with Perfect Loki, because they'll probably remove your graveyard by then, this is your other way.
Yeah.
Because you're like, cool, oh, I'm at under 10 life. Great, this dude costs 3, kill your board. Thanks. Now I have a 12/12 flyer that's going to kill you.
And you can even pair that with Lucifer, as you just pump Lucifer and then you pay 3 for Belial. Yeah, because he's a fallen angel too, so everything's board wipe except those 2, and then you gain all your life back.
Yeah, and then you gain your life back up to 40 or wherever you were at, which is kind of silly. I've done it once and it's kind of disgusting. You're just like, cool, I'm under 10, pay this dude, die.
Yeah.
But that is it for the Resonators. The first spell we got is Look at Corruption, because it's just that good.
Yeah.
It's 1 black, look at your opponent's hand, choose a card with total cost 4 or less, they discard that card. If this card is awakened, you choose another with 5 or more, they discard that card as well. And Awakening is a black and 1. So 3 mana, you get 2 cards from their hand and then remove them. Or just 1 mana, remove a 4 and under, which is mostly what you're going to do, because most of the time right now, 4 and under is where everybody's at.
Yeah, exactly. So, not too bad. All right. I've not actually seen this card yet. Sephiroth is what the name is, I do believe. Mm-hmm. The Blueprint of Life. It's one darkness, enter, choose Harvest or Corrupt. If you choose Harvest, draw a card. If you choose Corrupt, then your opponent discards a card. Now, you can tap, banish this card, produce a green or a black. If you spin this to play Resonator, it cannot be canceled. Play this spell only if you have Athena, Deity, God of Harvest. Deity of Harvest and Corruption. Yeah. So it's a pretty strong little guy, only if you have really Athenia out though. So
this guy's got multiple uses in this deck. First off, it helps you make your opponent discard a card turn 1, which is really nice. Or if you really want to draw a card, you can, but most of the time you're going to be like, choose Corrupt, discard a card. Also, it's an addition, so it helps set up your Dark Alice to trigger really quickly.
Yep.
And then, like you said, as long as you have Athenia in play, it produces an extra mana that can be used for anything. It just says if it's for a Resonator, it can't be canceled.
Yeah.
So you can use this extra mana on a chance spell or addition spell, but if it's a Resonator, they can't cancel it, which is really nice because against green and blue, they have a lot of counter spells and silly stuff like that. So you're just like, cool, don't counter this dude. Now I'm going to play a Kaguya because you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up is March of the Dead. It is 1 black for put target Resonator with total cost 2 or less from your graveyard into the field. Put up to a second target Resonator with total cost 2 or less if this card is awakened for 2 extra black.
So for 3, you get 2 dudes.
I can't tell you how good this card is. It does so much work in a deck like this because you get back Perfect Loki, Fallen Angel, Dark Alice, or Lailah. Most of the time, you're going to get back a Perfect Loki or a Lailah or Dark Alice because any 3 of those set up your deck for how you want it. Because Lailah helps you get more stones. Dark Alice can set up to protect your graveyard from being touched, mostly, or it can give you extra mana, or Perfect Loki kills the board. It's disgusting.
For one darkness, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, cool. So turn 1, you can also do this turn 1 if you have an Indrise. You're like Harvesting Season, March of the Dead, bring back something.
Yeah.
I don't care what, something.
Also, to help with that is Command of Life and Death. It's darkness in a 1. Put a target Resonator total 3 or less from the graveyard to the field. This helps get Mana Transmuter and also Astema as well.
Or Athenia.
Yeah. Or Athenia as well.
Yeah. This card does so much. Because with Athenia, with Athenia, you just pay 2 mana. You bring back an Athenia, and then in response to her ability, you tap another land, and you get all that stuff untapped.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. I'll take a free dude.
Like I'll take it. Thank you. And this is all in favor of Harvest Season, turn 1.
Yeah.
Just put everything in the graveyard, and then that's your play toy.
Next up is Athenia's Love. It is a black and 1 for Divinity 2 Chant Rune. It's got Quick Cast. You pay 1 less to play this card if you control Athenia, so essentially it can cost 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you choose Harvest or Corrupt. If you choose Harvest, your entities gain Eternal. If you choose Corrupt, your opponent banishes a Resonator. This card has saved my life more than I can count.
Oh yeah. Not as much as Flourishing Hope, but definitely Athena.
Yeah, but like 1 black, being able to be like, all my things are eternal, because it's even entities. So if they try to kill your stones, you're just like, no, don't touch them. Or my addition, don't touch it. And then if you have Athenia, you get both. So you're like, cool, banish your 1 dude. Thanks.
Yeah.
Try again.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. All right. The next card is something that needs to be used more often. It's Soul Prison. It's a 2 and a 4 Divinity 3, but you may pay 3 less with this card if you're 3 less for this card if your J roller is Lucifer. So it's basically 3 mana, 2. Target Resonator gets -0, -1000 until end of turn. If it's put in the graveyard this turn, put it on your field under your control. Insane. This card is super solid and great.
Right now, this card does a lot of work.
Yes.
You kill their Athenia, you untap your 3 lands that you use to play this card.
Yeah, because she comes into play, and then you get to do it.
She comes in play under your control, and you're like, great, cool. I untap my 3 lands. Let me play another dude.
Yeah.
Or you can kill their Perfect Loki if they have under it, and then you bring back their Perfect Loki under your control, wiping their board for your graveyard.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting because the amount of dudes that have so much value right now that you get. You can steal their Dark Alice, you can steal all kinds of stuff. It's just so crazy how good this card is right now, and nobody runs it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally a Sacrificial Altar, because why not? We're playing black, it's too good.
Exactly.
The black and 1 edition. You banish a Resonator, put an offering counter on this card, banish this card, search your deck for a Resonator with total cost X or less, and put it into the field, where X is the number of offering counters that were on this card. So again, this helps set up Dark Alice because it gets an addition in the graveyard that it puts itself in there, and it searches for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So you can get any kind of 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, or a 6-drop if you really need to get up there to get a Belial. But most of the time, you're going to go 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. Especially too with Perfect Loki, just to kill their board instant speed.
Yeah, and sacrificing a Lailah, you don't lose anything because you get a stone from killing her. So you're like, cool, free counter and a free stone. Great.
Exactly.
It's just silly. The magic stones are pretty simple. We have 10 darkness magic stones because you're going to need to get a lot of them with Lailah because she's going to die and hopefully come back a lot.
Yeah.
And then we have 1 light magic stone and 1 wind magic stone. And they're there just to help with the playing of things because this deck is so greedy. Because if you get a 1 wind magic stone, you can play Athenia pretty easily, or you can play any of the other things, and it helps you alleviate some of the mana issues, because that way you don't have to pay as much life for the Mana Transmuter. It does suck when you get turn 1 tap, get a green stone. That kind of hurts.
Yeah,
but
real bad.
Hopefully you don't, because we have so many more darkness magic stones, but it can happen.
Yeah, it can go turn 1 wind, turn 2 light, and then you're like, well, the opponent thinks I'm playing this.
Well, this game's probably over for me because it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But it's just there to help you alleviate it. But that is the deck list, guys. The deck will be down below. It's a wild deck. I've enjoyed playing it so far. It's got a lot of crazy interactions. And from what I've seen of it, if they're not playing counter spells, you can do really well and really strong without having to worry about much. But that is it, guys. Thank you for joining us here today at Kevin's Kreations, and we will see y'all again next time.
Goodbye.
Later. Also, guys, we just remind y'all to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep up to date on all our future content, make sure you click that bell. It'll give you all the notifications you need.
With that, we'd like to go ahead and give a big thank you to all our fans that support us through the year, and especially our Patreon support people. We do like to give a shout out to our Mythic and Above supporters, and that would be Dwayne Higgs. Thank you very much. We love you.